Alright, so you got your first lesson on scientific notation in Year 11 General Maths. So in certain situations we might need to refer to a very large or very small number. So do you agree that that's a massive number?
Yeah.
Do you agree that that's an extremely small number? Why? Because you got a decimal and then you got heaps of zeros. Yeah? It's useful to have to write, it's wasteful to have to write so many zeros. So what we have in science and maths is a shortcut for writing very large or very small numbers. It's called scientific notation. Okay? I don't want to have to write 6 zeros every time. I don't have to write 4 zeros every time. Also because there's so many, there's a possibility of making a mistake as well. So what is scientific notation? It has two parts. Put in a box. The first part is a number between 1 and 10 to represent non-placeholder digits. What's a placeholder digit? These zeros, they're just sitting there taking up places because they're pushing the 4891 off to the left to show that it's big. See these zeros here? They're just pushing the 392 to the right away from the decimal. So placeholders are zeros that come before or after other digits, not stuff in between them. A zero that's between digits is not a placeholder. So when we do our example, you see why that matters. And then, in scientific notation, you have a big times by 10, and then you have a little power. You have a power of 10 that places the decimal in the correct place. If that power is positive, the decimal place jumps to the right. If the power is negative, the power jumps the decimal place to the left. Right now, this looks like crazy, and you don't see what all of that means. But I'll ask you to write that down. I'll give you some writing time, and then I will show you how that works. Okay? So I'll give you a few minutes to get these little boxes down so that I can show you and point at it when I do the actual example. Go. Couple of minutes. You can talk quietly, but don't say each other's name, so there's nothing identifying there. One of my advice yesterday said the S word, but I kept it in because they didn't say their name. So right now, I understand that this little diagram here doesn't make a huge lot of sense. That's fine. It's one of those things that when you see how it interacts with the example, it's very clear. So a couple of minutes there to get the little rectangle. And I understand your hands will hurt from writing. That happens every class. That's right, by the end of the year you'll have called muscular hands. You'll be bulky hands, bro. I'll go back to you in 2 minutes. So 25 past. I'm not going to erase anything. Yep.
What exactly what? So we don't write all of it, so
Just to start, just what's in the blue rectangle, and then my examples on the right.
blue rectangle.
So on that left board, you can see there's
The times.
a start in the times 10. If you ever can't read something because of my writing, let me know. I'm not all sensitive about that. If I have to do it live, it's not going to be perfect. Yeah? 30 seconds. I'll go through an example and I'll give you extra writing time on these boards before I turn them around. Alright, let's practice using this thing. There's two parts. A number between 1 and 10. Then I have times by 10 to the power of something that's going to put the decimal point in the right place. Now, where's this decimal point come from? I need a number between 1 and 10 that represents the non-placeholder digits. So if I look at this, 59,605,000. Is 5 a placeholder, or does it mean something? So that's not a placeholder. 9? Not 6? This 0. Why isn't it a placeholder? What did I chuck on there that tells you that it's not a placeholder? It's in between. It's important because it pushes the 5 next. What about these 3 zeros? Are they placeholders?
Yeah.
Good. So these are placeholders. So the number I need to represent is 59605. Is 59,605 between 1 and 10?
No.
What about 5,960.5?
No.
What about 596.05? What about 59.605? One more? 5.9605. Do you agree? Does this number represent those non-placeholders? Is it also between 1 and 10? Good. So now I write that in my first part, 5.9605 times by 10 to the power of. So we need to jump the decimal point. Where's the decimal point in this giant number here? At the end. The decimal point is there, but I've put a decimal point between 5 and 9. See how they're in the wrong place right now? How many times do I need to jump it to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many jumps did I take? 7. Did I go to the right? So this power is positive 7. Does that sort of... This was super complicated, but it says everything that I want to say. Can you see how that works on this? So I'll just... You don't need to write this little bracket here, but, and this is just a little note for you. Jumped decimal 7 times right. I'm not going to mark you down if you help yourself and write little working out. The answer is this, okay? But based on how I've explained it to you, whatever utilities you use to help you get the right answer, I've gone over, and I won't use it, I won't mark you down if you write it on your test question. So, a couple of minutes to get down to this start. I've got an example there. I'll take off the training wheels a little bit and see if you can do this. Maybe a minute to get to that start, and then we'll do the next example. If you don't like writing, you can type whatever it takes to. When you're typing or writing something, are you subconsciously reading it in your head? That's slightly different to me just giving you a PowerPoint presentation that you'll probably never open again. That's why I do this, okay? If you like it or you don't like it, that's cool. But what I'm trying to do is, my technique is to help the most people at the same time. And my results, I would say, show that. Let's try this one. This is an extremely small number. So you tell me if it's a placeholder or not.
Placeholder. Yeah. Placeholder. 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 No.
Okay, so this is what I need to represent. What number between 1 and 10 is going to represent 59605?
0.960.
So yeah, it's the same as the last one, but it's extremely small. So what's my first part? 5.9605. In scientific notation, there's always a times by 10. But I need a power here. I need a power because right now, I've got a decimal point between 5 and 9. But in my actual number, is that where the decimal point sits?
No.
It's over here. What direction did it jump?
Left.
Left.
Oh wait.
So,
No,
yeah.
right. Oh yeah. Right.
You got it. And you're allowed to make mistakes. I'm not going to jump down your throat if you make a mistake. That's what I'm here for, to fix it. So jump to the left. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what kind of 7 am I going to chuck on top of here? Is it still going to be positive?
Negative.
Because I jumped to the left. I'm going to give you 5 minutes writing time to get that down, and then have a little bit of a rest because, yeah, this would be crazy for you. Huh?